Well, greetings everybody, and welcome to this week's edition of the Inworld Review, a sort of a show where we like to chat about people, places, and things in, or on, is probably the better word, the hypergrid. What, you may ask, is the hypergrid? Well, you're sure you bloody well know by now if you watch this show, but never mind, I shall tell you. It's a network that connects all the virtual worlds that are built with the Open Simulator engine, rather similar to Second Life, if you've heard of that. It connects all the virtual worlds together so you can teleport and move assets between different worlds. Many of the older worlds, like Second Life, its nearest neighbor, so to speak, are actually walled gardens. So you can do things in the world, but you can't export things or travel across to other worlds without quitting and starting another program. But that's not the case with the hypergrid. So we've got hundreds and thousands of destinations that we can actually go to and hunt for materials. So no problem there. Of course, the biggest way to hunt for materials is to just turn up places and film, and to a certain extent, that's what this show this week is about. Something we do to visit these worlds is we go with, you will probably remember Thursday Ember, here until recently. She runs a thing called the Hypergrid Safari. She has done for many years now. And there are 3 seasons in every year where for a month or two we meet up once a week and choose about a couple of locations to go and explore as a group. And this show is actually, by tradition, we've tended to do a roundup at the end of the season of every safari anyway. So that's what this show has been planned for a while is actually all about. There's far too much to cover all the safaris, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to Thursday's blog, which you'll find at hgsafari.blogspot.com. And we're going to look at the pictures from each of her weekly posts. That's specific to Safari, that is. And then we will comment on what we saw there. And if we get to anything we really get excited about in terms of the memory, then we'll switch to some video footage from that same visit. So to get started, I'll just introduce myself. My name's Mal Burns. My right-hand techno person is on my right-hand side, James Atlloud. He of the sitting at the knobs, or knobbing at the sitting with knobs. There you go.
I knew a band called the Bald Knobbers. Maybe I should shave my head and become a bald knobber.
You could have a go.
I could have a go. It could be a thing.
You could have a go. Yeah. You could get a special hoodie to cover your knob.
Yeah.
Sorry about that one.
Quite all right. Quite all right.
On my left-hand side, before I go too far, on my left-hand side, the wonderful Tosha Ryran, who is my co-host and helps us all the way through this, and is frequently, both are frequently on safari too. So welcome, Tosha.
Hi, Mel. Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here. And I tell you right away, I will not shave my head. I would have too hard a time with that bunch of hair I wear.
Oh my gosh, that's true.
Yeah, I don't know what you. I'm fascinated by the kind of, not so much the dreadlocks, but a lot of hairstyles for men too these days, include the braids and everything else like that, and they're very tightly done, and
Yes.
they're very ropey. And I keep thinking, how do you wash your hair? how do you undo that complicated
Well,
tapestry?
to tell you the truth, there are some things that speak for virtual world. You never wash your hair.
Oh, true. I wasn't referring to your avatar.
You never have to do the dishes. You don't need a bathroom, and you don't need to wash the windows. Those are the things that are really perfect.
You don't even need to change your clothes, let alone wash them.
Yeah, right.
Very good. Okay, well, starting off, let's see. It would have been in the course this week, I guess. So she did publish 3 posts. This is Creon no Veil Tout Do, whatever that is, But these are the pictures. So it's a region called Creonville, and these aren't ones I've got film of. These are just ones that Tosha posted in the week. You get the sort of idea of what we're going to be doing with her other ones. That's picturesque, isn't it? And sorry, and what's that, a wooden painter, stickman painter? Who knows? It looks like he actually is painting, but I don't think the thing on the easel is changing. No, it's an optical illusion. Okay, so that was one of them. She also had a post midweek about not very much in my way of pictures here, but it says how not to be lonely in OpenSim. She's basically promoting the Hypergrid and all the bustling things that are happening, how to get to them, and stuff like that, and also why you should be there instead of a certain other place, shall we say. And yeah, she's got, well, let's have a look at them. She's got a few pictures here. But it's just recommendations of places to go to meet people, I think, more than anything else, which counts as destinations.
And how to meet people.
And
also, not to talk bad about them, make a remark if you go to their places and say thank you, and
be courteous is isn't it?
That's
it. Good old be courteous.
Yeah, that's it.
Absolutely, for sure there. Yeah. Right, okay, back from that one. And then finally, her latest post is about Bink Draconia. 4 bits by Bink. She's great with words, but really, bits by Bink, indeed. Okay, some nice animated gifts here. I don't think I've actually ever been to any of Bix's regions. I presume so, or maybe Safari. There's been so many safaris now, one forgets, And sometimes you end up going to a region and finding it, you've been there before, but it's totally different. Nice sky there, by the look of it. Moving sky, that is. That's a good picture, that one.
Looks a bit too cold to have the feet dangling in the water.
Yeah, it does.
Yes, but Avatar feet do have some properties that we're not always aware of.
Another positive thing about virtual world, you never get cold feet.
Indeed. And you never melt either. Well, I don't know, London here, was it Friday? I think we exceeded some ridiculous temperature. And now it's cold again. It's not, there's no summer or winter left anymore. It's popped up what you wake up to. Right. Windmill there. They're useful things. We should have more windmills these days. I mean, they make people put solar panels on their roofs if they own their own house and whatever, and then they've got to give. They have to contribute to the national grid and pay for electricity that their own home is making. But oh god, it's a farce. And of course, you got the wind turbines out at sea, but less inland. But good old windmills here. And the other thing, of course, is water mills. There's the wheel and bucket things that you can put, build a house by a waterfall and you've got power. Anyway, power in there. This is some nice pictures here actually for one person. And Bink is theatrical, I take it. Nice little stage. There we are. The bank safe. Interesting stuff here. It's sort of almost needs a narrative to explain some of it. Oh, that cat's very interested in his birds. That is just well posed, isn't it? I don't know whether it's animated or not, or just a set piece. Random. Oh, I remember those things. Retro store. And it's gone dark. Oh, yes. So as I said, she was watching The Matrix. Although her GIF only gives us a few seconds of it, as you can see. Right, wonderful. Now, I'm actually going down on, again, Tosha's blog here for the slides, whatever. I'm going down to April here. HIE. No, that's the wrong one. Basically on April, whenever it was, she posted this one on April 23rd, and this was Safari heading out again. So that was a picture of the clubhouse and waiting. And this basically is a good, it's a good starting picture because it's the logo of Safari. I'll probably try and bring it in here anyway. But since 1914, maybe not. Since 2014, the adventure goes on. The adventure continues. And says the dinosaur is eating the giraffe. I don't quite know the logic of this, but there you go. Ask Theza. Maybe we will do it at some point, I'm sure. Have a bout for that. Right. So now we're getting to the meat of the thing. The first stop this season was Europa. Well, it's actually a second stop on the first date, if you see what I mean. That's just the way the cookie crumbles here. And this is Europa. A lot of people standing around. This is very high tech sort of build, if I remember. Do you do talk up James and Tosha if you were there, or we'll have this talking head.
Yeah, I don't rightly remember, but I'll keep watching.
Yeah,
I really don't remember right now either.
Was it the big sci-fi build? I just don't remember. Okay.
Yeah,
I think I was there.
Sci-fi. Yep. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yep, I was there.
Yes, you remember some of the occupants.
Oh yeah, it was fantastic.
Definitely there, yes. And yeah, it was a nice, busy, amazing build. What it lacked up for in.
Oh, I was there. I see my hair.
There you are.
Yeah. Oh yes, I see my hair. She says, "Yes, you were there." I do understand. I even look back on some of these and think, "Was I there? I must have been." Or,
I remember that. I found this very confusing, and for me, it was very laggy. That's why I did not see very much. And as I'm furthermore not really, really overly interested in high tech and sci-fi, so I guess maybe I just didn't look very closely.
Yeah, I must admit. So sometimes I'm on one of the safari visits, and especially musical ones where I don't particularly like the music, so I turn the music off and I hang out and say hello. But I said the heart's not fully in it.
I find it so interesting that so many of the sci-fi builds are about transportation, and this image is a great one. I mean, there was this really elaborate subway system with flying vehicles, and somehow vehicles are just an essential component of the future, the speculative future.
Hmm.
And do we need vehicles? Do we really need vehicles? I don't know.
Well, I don't think we need excessive vehicles to use up energy that we could apply to other things. I think we need heating and feeding more than we need vehicles. Although obviously some would say, oh, well, if you've got to have big lorries to ship those foods and stuff around. But it's a big joke. I mean, back when my folks used to live in the Scilly Islands, 30 miles off Cornwall.
Well, that I think really is basically my main problem with the sci-fi stuff. I think I don't mean now any of the Sims here or the grids, but totally, I think the sci-fi comes up with few new ideas, really progressive ideas. How to, if you go so far into the future, you might as well have some more thoughts about it. How to, make a better world, a world that we can all live together better and not make, all the moving and all the great airplanes flushing back and forth and airplanes or whatever, and all the smart guys and the beautiful women and no, that's I don't really like that so much.
Yeah. Actually, I like it less as time goes by because it's so cliched. I mean,
Well, is that
same
the
kind of thing.
progress of civilization? Have we just improved our methods of moving one body from one place to another?
Yeah,
Is that human progress?
that that when you look at the sci-fi, sometimes I think it looks like that.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh, all right, I can't find any film that would have gone with that. That was the 5th of. Oh, hang on. Cyclone. No, well, I can't find that one then.
Yeah, that was 2 steps back because it said sex and more, so no film.
That was a film actually, but where it was, I don't know. I think it was one of those grids with an adult region that we probably visited from, and probably best forgotten or something. Who knows? Who knows, really? Okay, what's the date? I need to be on the 5th, which is May, and Kirk's Lights. Oh no, that's a feature video. Okay, I'm good to. I'm trying to find. Oh, La Trouve. That was Star Ravenhurst. That was in May. That was in May. Pangea Vehicles. That was in May. We've actually got volume more than I even thought we had here. Shadowlands Europa. Here we are. Okay, well, this is some film I've got to go with that visit. I've got 9 minutes here, but we're probably not going to want to watch all of it. Obviously, a few folks dancing away here in one part of it. And seeing if any of this prompts you to remember anything about it. But actually, I think the slideshows did it great better justice. Actually,
One thing I didn't see in the slides was that there was really a nice area for costumes and clothing for your avatars. And I think when you're visiting a region that has such a stylized experience and it's as immersive as this, it's nice to be able to pop on some clothes that fit the environment.
Yeah, go to the yes. It is. It's. I used to do that a bit in the old other place, but as I say, you don't need to change clothes. If you've got a costume you really like, and of course, actually, in the other place, I've got a lovely little mesh cat, that fits everywhere. Nobody can complain I'm wearing the wrong costume because all ginger cats have ginger hair like my cat. They could complain that I didn't come as a black cat or something, but there you go. Some people won't ever learn. Just much of this film seems a bit samey. Actually, there we are in the dark, very much there as well. And so there's somewhere to eat and drink and stuff. Just oh gosh, of course I remember that. There's James. There I am with my back to the proceedings, and there's sitting there somewhere.
Riding on the metro.
It was the trolley bus or something, yes, that we got on for a kind of ride there. And I got a feeling I maybe never got as far as the shopping zone. It looks like we didn't. So we'll move up from that one. The next clip here, let's go back to the slideshows so I know what dates we're on, kind of thing. Right, so that was Europa. The next stop was Safari Magic, April 24th, which I think was probably the first stop on that same week. So there we go. Oh, yes, I do remember this. I remember it mostly because we landed in that sort of flower bed and people were arriving kind of slowly. I think that's Tosha there, actually.
Yeah.
And
that one I really liked.
No, and it was actually taking, unfortunately, rather a long time. When we moved up into other areas, it was quite fun. As you can see, sailing boat there. Colourful with, well, this is presumably the region light settings where we went all over the place. There's quite a bit of variety there, but you get the idea. This is, joining the Magic Society. yeah, I think I think I have plans for the guy behind this to come on the show. Actually, his magic ideas with scripts and stuff like that. But I thought would be quite interesting. But doesn't seem. Okay, the next one I've got in the movie section is on the second, which is Star of Ravenhurst's garden kind of thing. So let's move to that. It should move. Come on, move. There we go.
That is of La Via Lavigne.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what I thought.
It's the memory region.
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm getting this wrong. These pictures are pictures of Labe's bill, but they're by Star.
Okay.
Took these photos. Sorry,
That was quite an impressive region too. You know, the idea that everybody could, you know, have like something to remember somebody
memorial
who had died. You know, yeah.
Yeah, and it was so wide open, which I really like.
Yeah.
Being a person who likes to cam around, it was very easy to move and see everything.
Yes, very much. We've visited quite a few places that have sort of generic memorials as opposed to, you know, I mean, obviously it's always sad when an avatar operator passes away, shall we say. And sometimes, you know, you find a memorial on a grid, you know, where that avatar was taken. But when you see some of these really universal ones, oh dear, I must have been hit by windows. Oh, there we are. Right. Sorry, I'm never going to run out of jokes about yesterday. Oh yeah, that was great. Yeah, but it's just so nice as a big place that, you know, anybody, you know, who you want somebody remembered, you know, across the whole hypergrid was able to go, you know, get a place there in communal ground. Oh, she did quite a long slideshow here. Well, I realised this is basically just a slideshow converted to video. So. The main protagonist. So okay, this actually was some video of the same region. Moving into this a little bit here. Oh, I wonder if I ever showed this. There was a template in the camera software I haven't been using yet, actually, where I've got the.
Oh, is that the crawl at the bottom of the screen?
Yeah, that's.
Okay.
I think that might be in. No, it's not in OBS. It's in something or other, anyway. And I can set that text up in advance, and then it just keeps running there while I'm filming, which is kind of useless. Or useful. I don't know which. Just live on the hypergrid, people, places, arts, etc. So good advert there. So I've forgotten all about that template because I've got a particular software I do normally use for filming. It's not the old one that was it's all full 1080p these days, but. Okay, just run through to a lot of work gone into these little tributes and things. So, right, Betrove Creative Space. Right, this one is this has got this one has got sound on it. There's a raft and right away.
That's cool.
This was actually a piece of film provided by our guest on the day, which retrieve. Was this Lavia again? I'm not sure.
I have no notion what this might be.
It looks maybe, is this like where Star Ravenhurst's museum is of female artists in Open Sim?
Oh, that could be, yeah.
This is what it looks
I
like.
got this is dated the 4th of May. And the one next to it is this one. Oh, that was one that, as you can see, things were just never rezzing. This is the footage of that same one, the Beau Retrieve, if that's the way to pronounce it. Who was this again? I forget. Oh, come help me out, guys. Maybe it was Star.
Yeah, this looks like Star's museum.
Yeah. So yeah, we got a full 15 minutes of this actually. So Star Ravenhurst is always a good drop off. She's been on the show a couple of times, but as pointed out earlier, she quite often posts and sends me a link to slideshows, that she's taken on Safari, a bit like the slideshows on Thursday's blog, but hers instead. And she's a pretty good photographer on that front too. I remember this now. We actually looked at a whole load of stuff. Basically, this film just pans in on every painting, which does take quite a while, I'm afraid. There she is. That's her own bit. Who's that? No, she's gone. No, she's back. These are the the ladies of the Hypergrid or something. I don't know.
Featured artists. I'd say they're the featured artists.
Right? Sorry. What? No, Tosha here.
Oh, Tosha's in there.
She's in here.
I'm not an artist.
I think you are.
No, I'm not.
Okay.
I'm a bricklayer.
Well, there's an art in that. It's certainly a craft.
Wow. Okay.
You're a craftist or a craftsperson.
Yeah, that's why I'm on that grid craft.
Mm-hmm.
I knew you were going to come. I was about to see if I could think up of a joke on that. All right. Okay. Well, as I said, this is long film, so we don't want to. It's so easy to.
There she was.
There she
was.
There you go. And here she is again, because there we are, zooming in. Oh, it looks like I'm moving backwards here. Oh, I think I am actually. It must have just been where I was. Never mind. Okay. Oh, that was nice. There's a couple posed out there, some nice statues and things. So yeah, so this is a good place to.
That looks cool. That sculpture.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the garden was nice.
The region is called Le Beau Retrieve. Which is the good retreat or something?
Yeah.
I'm not quite sure.
The beautiful retrieve.
Oh, right. Oh, yeah, Beau, of course. Yeah, beautiful retreat. Yeah. Again, I'm not quite sure what grid it's on. That's not the game of the grid, but we'll check up on that. Let's move back to the slides here and just head back and see where we are in the timeline. Here we are, Le Beau Retrieve. This is it. So that was April 27th. It's on Genesis. Good. Just a couple of pictures actually by the look of it. That's all. That's the nicest one, isn't it, with the sky? It looks to me like, as I said, that is on the Genesis grid. Sori's voice. Oh no, that was Sori. Have I got the right post here? Oh crumbs! What's she done? It's gone back to the wrong page. Here we are. Yeah, Star Ravenhurst Gallery, and then Bow Retrieve is on the Genesis roleplay grid, and the address is at the end of the blog, which is not very obvious to me.
You were
there we
right
are.
over it, right?
Yeah, grid.genesis-roleplay.org, port 8002, and then Le Beau Retrieve with spaces between those words. So there you go. There you go. You want to go and visit that. Right, so we were more or less on track. In the middle here, we had Safari Magic. This is Cyber Data Storm, which is CyberGlow's grid. Oh, no, sorry, that's one we already looked at, and we did have slight problems racing with that one, didn't we? So the last one of April is Lampy's Legends. This is Lampithala or
Lampithala.
Lampithala, yeah, right. And her latest build was called Cloud's Head World Heart, and it's an enchantment of pixels, basically. And these are the pictures. So let's put up for that one. Oops. Keyboard, come on. You're not fast enough. Those sort of hanging islands in the sky. Kind of popular sort of theme sometimes. And that's quite moody. It does definitely looks like a party, doesn't it? All the dancing. Slightly different lighting. Oh, that's nice. Very nice. So, Lampithala's Legends. Not a huge amount of stuff there anyway, but let me see. What was the date on that? That is the 5th of the 5th. So we will just have a look down here and see if I've got anything for the 5th of the 5th. I don't think it's that one. Right, this is the 5th. Okay. Not much happening there except a moving sky by the look of it. Right, nightlife in the heart of the city. Kirk's Lights. No, I can't see anything actually. It's funny, I just assumed that I would have film for every visit, but the dates coincide, but nothing else does. So moving back from this one. And we're moving into May anyway, so May and June were that's a third of the way through here. Right. A lot of these will be familiar from the guests we've had on the show as well, the Safari. This is Lavia Levine's Haven of Memories again. And this is, you saw this a minute ago, but this is simply says a slideshow as opposed to the one from Star. And then you go through all that way and you come down into the main region. And there we've got more tributes as well. I think this is, I remember when I arrived here, I actually wasn't that keen on the region lighting. And I chose my own, but these ones by, there's I think by and large we're using the region's own default lighting. So moving on from that one. Okay. Carsten's Crafts. All right. This is Pangea Grid. And oh yeah, there's not a huge amount. I did film here, but it's not. Basically, it was a big circle kind of meeting where they were talking about scripting and the cars and everything else.
Oh, the humanity.
Sorry?
Oh, the humanity. I destroyed so many vehicles on that trip.
Oh yeah. It's something I've like.
I think all of us did, James.
So,
You're not
yeah.
alone.
Yep.
The temptation. I can't. The closest I come to destroying things is actually crashing into things because I can't drive properly. But basically, we were all chatting there, and then after the chatting finished, people went and tried out various vehicles, and I did too. arguably not too successfully. I didn't dare go up in the air in anything. But there you go. Seaplanes, old car. There was actually an awful lot of stuff there. It's not in
a lot
the
of vehicles.
slideshow here, but there's a lot of vehicles there and stuff. So, yeah, that was. I forgot where we are again now. Okay, so Cyberglow, Cyberstar, that was his region. Yeah. And going down to the bottom here. Hang on. No, we've done that one already, haven't we?
Yeah, that one I never resed for me. I arrived late, so the server said, "Oh, no, nothing for James. I send you no assets."
Fair enough. Enough. Right. Oh, it's on there. Why did it go back to April? I'm on May. Right. Okay. This is fun. It's barely, I think it's about a month ago. I'm going to do this in a bit of a different order here. This was near the end of May. We went to Andron Ray's Brigadoon
That was fun.
region.
That was good.
And if you've been watching this show in recent weeks, you'll probably recognize some of this. He was in here. We had a good long talk with this guy. And even digging up pictures of the old musical from the 1940s, I think it is, or whatever. But this is wonderful because it was to do with storytelling, basically. Pardon me. You basically move from place to place in a fairly, a lot of foliage and canopy of trees around, so you couldn't cheat and look underneath. But you basically move from place to place, inquiring things of people. They gave answers in text, and you had clues, and you sort of moved on. And you come. There's some nice tricks. You would come to a building and think, "Oh, I've been here before," and you go inside, and sure enough, you had. But it was actually a copy of the building with a whole lot of different occupants inside. So it was a different chapter in the same place, if you see what I mean. And they'd actually done it by duplicating.
But it was really well made. I couldn't go to the safari, but I went afterwards alone.
Yeah.
And I really enjoyed it. Well, the parts that I saw, it was really funny. With all these NPCs, you could touch them and they would talk with you.
Yeah.
And sometimes I got a little chatty, but okay.
I had
Too
fun.
chatty.
I had fun because I went back with a friend and we read all the note cards. We tried to do accents. We tried to do Scottish accents.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
Okay, that's a challenge. All right. Okay. So we're back here. Let's move up a bit more to date. May. Here we are, May. Okay. Into Third Wind. Oh, yes. The rock grid disappeared, but they moved to they renamed themselves Third Wind. I haven't heard much about them since then. Actually, you used to hear posts from the rock grid, but I guess they're still getting establishment. Oh, they're actually a sub community on the Zeta World's grid now. That's probably why. I don't see that many posts and things from Zeta Worlds. It's almost like they're a bit of an enclave of their own.
Do you know why they folded? I mean, they were always pretty active and had good things over there.
Yeah.
Do you know why they quit? That's the third rack.
Rock, yeah.
I don't know for a fact of anything, but I feel like in Open Simulator especially, so many things hinge on the good intentions and energy of one person. And if that one person finds it difficult to continue, it's hard to find a replacement.
That may be true, yeah.
And even with communities, they find it's no longer, this is not Second Life prices, but it still may not be economically advantageous to expand when they're hosted by somebody else, or either server-wise or grid-wise, and they may want to say, right, we want to get our own grid, or we want to get our own region, but on a different grid where we got better offer.
Mm.
So there's still a bit of commerce running in the background in OpenSim. It's low key, but some of the better known grids are actually commercial grids. In fact, everything really is commercial to one extent. It's like you find somebody to host your website, or even if you run it on your own computer, you're relying on the goodwill of linking, with other places to get there. So, but I certainly can't remember any. I can't remember what the reason for moving was, and I don't think it was particularly having. But you can find out on Thursday's blog if you look for April the 20th. There, you can get more information from that. No time to read it all out for you, I'm afraid. Okay, Everlove was the next stop, the 9th of May. Oh, this is the German World grid, and it's the first time Safari had ever actually been there. I was looking for some stuff on there earlier today, but let's see. Oh, quite a lot of pictures here. Oh yes, I do remember this. Very nice, sort of. Well, their photographic fronts and everything, but it really captured the mood of. I forget where it's meant to be. It's in Venice. No, it couldn't be Venice. Seafront anyway. I think it's modeled on a real world location. I'm pretty sure.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody's got a railway.
Did this have the wonderful paths up the hills and down?
Yeah, I think so.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was really
the one where I was. I had a few, I think. Well, not the one I was on horseback. That was a different.
No, that was a different one.
Yeah. Yeah, this looks like it. This looks like a.
The horseback was not even a safari. Well, it was a safari, but not one of the Thursday organized.
Yeah, it was the Educators Monthly one, which I'll be able to find another one coming up yet. Okay. Yeah, so that's a pretty good example of a path, I think.
And the trees, I thought, were incredible.
Yeah.
Every time I hit back, I keep going to not the page I was on before. This doesn't make sense anyway. But okay, troubles. We did. Oh, hang on. Carsten's crafts into the third wind. Ever love, right? Safari goes to see ocean. Right, and get wet maybe. I don't know. This is it's a grid called Ocean, founded by somebody called Agata Ocean, and it was another first visit for Safari there. A guide was Ellie Funt, who speaks both French and perfect English. She was deputized to lead the tour. And only a few pictures on this one, but although the skies were very busy with aircraft here.
Right.
They were well scripted aircraft. They were flying around all over the place.
And the AI bartender is here, yes?
I don't know. I don't go to bars very much. I can't remember. Oh, is that it?
Oh, yeah, the little dragons. No, the bartender's behind that booth.
Right. Yeah, actually, I'm not sure I do remember this myself, But I don't think I ever. Oh, I'm on the wrong one there. I don't actually remember ever. It's cute anyway.
Who doesn't love little dancing dragons?
Dancing mice, probably. They'll be easily roasted by a flying object.
This was where the safari ended, and the bartender in here is an AI that you can have you can converse with.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you did, I take it.
I did.
You converse by so you order the drink you want, and then he tells you what the ingredients are or something.
Or any question under the sun.
Oh, right.
Large language model. Right.
Why are you working here?
Mm-hmm.
I am an AI. I'm not quite sure. Somebody put me here.
My mom kicked me out.
Yeah.
Something like that. Oh, dear. All right, so right, let's using this different browser is not quite as easy as using the old one actually, but never mind. Safari turns 10. Well, of course, this is a big feature, May 16th. We got these. Actually, it says we only published about 4 pictures of herself at the anniversary. Day and night, where the placebo performed, and a good time was had by all. So we're now into month 6. So
All but me. I couldn't attend the anniversary. I was so sad.
yeah. Well, we did have film of that somewhere. I don't know where it has gone. Maybe my filing system here is not as great as I thought it was. Yeah, so it's this is June. The 6 months, isn't it? June. Or was it?
I love those panels that she had everywhere on the 10th anniversary. You could find really pictures of Safari of 10 years ago. That was really
and
very cool.
So many photos up in the sky there. I mean,
well, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, because it looked like there were about 64 pictures, but each one of the pictures was a slideshow in itself. It was just almost overkill, and you didn't until you actually got there and started clicking on it. You didn't actually realize, to be honest.
So much work.
Yeah.
So that was Torben's memorial.
So many textures.
Yeah.
At least they're free to upload, right?
Oh, peppers.
Yeah, okay. Imagine doing a thing like that in Second Life. You'd be poor.
You'd be poor pretty fast.
Broke.
Yeah.
Broke.
Okay, well, maybe I'll come across that birthday film a bit later. It's there seems to be a disconnect between the dates I've got on my films and the dates on those the blogs, but some vibes footage. I definitely know it's named, but I can't see it easily. Okay, well, let's move on here. Oops, wrong screen. All right, let's go back here. The Last of Boston. What on earth was that? Oh, this is a zombie game based on the TV show The Last of Us. And,
your favorite?
It's on the Neverworld grid.
Mel loves zombies.
I must admit, I've seen a couple of shows recently, which I think The Last of Us. I think I watched this, but no, it's too much dystopian. I mean, I just don't like these scenes of zombies coming up to the horror movie zombie thing. Some of the science fiction plots have sort of slightly more plausible. It's not the undead, it's a virus has infected them, and they're not quite the zombies of lore, But even so, it's a bit much.
Protect your brains.
Yeah, something like that. Oh, better go there. And actually, I don't remember much of this. I do remember we went there, but I can't remember a great deal of it myself, to be honest. So let's go back. What was the date on this again? April 20th. Oh, it's back on the... Oh, hang on. I think Last of Boston. Oh, dated April, and it was actually in May. I don't know. Okay, is this the one with those funny things we were flying?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it's not actually. This is a happy birthday post to Moebius Grid.
But we did fly their new planes. That was a big
Yeah,
deal.
yeah, that was a separate one. Yeah, this was the birthday. Um,
Oh, okay.
uh, Characters from the ancient computer game, really. Um,
How dare you?
Sorry, what did you say? How dare I? That one?
Saying Sonic the Hedgehog is ancient. Oh no.
Oh yeah, oh yes, Sonic. That's the one I was thinking of. I never played it on news at the time, but it's
Tasha,
this
did you play a lot of Sonic the Hedgehog?
Hmm?
Did you
I'm
play a lot
sorry.
of did you play much of Sonic the Hedgehog?
No.
just like me. I have a quick answer there.
Right, right.
Yeah, but that was more arts and more friends. Yeah. So, oh, this is Victoria Logan, who, well, we did cover a bit.
That was quite recent.
Yeah, this is quite recent. Yeah, but it was more recent Safari one. Only a few clips here. The Art and Friends. I actually did a lot of filming on this region. And of course, we featured quite a lot of it on a previous show. Although Victoria Logan herself could not make it to a show we had planned. But let's see, Neverworld Wild Kingdom. This is 26th of June. Okay, this is a more recent one. Let's have a peek at the film first. Oh right, this one I'm doing the old experimentation with following avatars, just to give the feel of walking about instead of flying around. As soon as you tilt the camera to get it right, then everybody moves and it changes. It's not a good way of filming, to be honest. This is actually Snow Buddy, of course. There's his partner in the thing. There she was. Oh dear, see what I mean about the camera. I'm probably, it looks like I'm going to stick to my usual method of doing things. Okay, there's too much to play here. This anyway is on Neverworld and it's called Wild Kingdom. Oh yeah, there's a lot of walking around paths and things here, but eventually you get to, I don't know what I call it, a zoo or whatever, with various critters in it.
That was with all those zoos.
Yeah.
And the Dino Zoo.
Who knows?
Dino.
I'll just get myself a drink of water while you're watching that briefly.
The dinosaurs were quite good, I thought.
Oh, dinos.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Although I couldn't stay on the Jeep. I tried to ride the Jeep and I kept falling off the Jeep. I don't know why.
Oh, I could, but it was so difficult to stay seated that when we got back, oh, my whole body hurt.
Well, I got eaten by a dinosaur, I'm pretty sure, for falling off the Jeep. They say keep your hands inside the car.
Oh yeah, I could keep my hands inside, but the rest of me was practically outside.
Completely hanging off the car.
Yeah.
But it's really a nice build and very easy to get around in.
Yeah.
Nice
It was really cool place, I think.
Yep.
And very well made, with very many details and, these descriptions. And I really liked that very much. And also the build details, not only the written details, but also the things that was built so well. I really fancied it.
I agree. And the habitats were very thoughtful. I mean, as much as a zoologist would have made a good habitat for the animals. I thought these were really thoughtful and showed good practices in zoo. My daughter works at a zoo, and so it's nice to see that reflected here.
Yeah.
Talking of jeeps.
There's the Jeep.
It's one of those horrible jeeps. No, but the riding around was a lot of fun, you know. But
They don't handle corners that well, but of course we had that lovely others. So I keep thinking of the Toy Town build. I'll get to it later. I was complimenting them on the way their buses actually navigated smoothly. It's a long film, this. So
yeah, didn't Lone Wolf also have some transportation on his grid, and it was very smooth, I thought.
Actually, it was last season, not January, I think. Those ones. Yeah, it took me a while earlier today to actually work out where one season began and the other one. And Jurassic Island. There you are. One dino later, one dinner later. Oh, it's a dino dinner time. Oh, and pterodactyls, or whatever the flying things are called.
Yeah.
I know, look at it there, crawling around there. It's like these wildlife programs where they film from the air and they're trying to find out where the lions are hiding and things.
Tosha, on YouTube, Chris said, there's no way for Tosha to keep her hair inside the car. That's very funny.
Well, that's true. Well, I've been watching a documentary the other day on TV about dinosaurs, and it said these flying ones, I don't know what name they have, you know, the flying dinosaurs, that all of our birds, really all of them, come from them, or they're, you know, they descendants of these first flying dinosaurs of I don't know how many thousands or maybe millions of years ago. I think that is so surprising, you know.
It wasn't one of them pterodactyls.
Yeah, pterosaurs. Archaeopteryx was the first one with feathers. I watched little birds at our house. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. No, they what the rolling Indiana Jones are not
dangerous.
It is. I know that, yes. Car went right through me. Yeah, I don't know what's happening there. Yeah. No, it's very true. Birds are the last living dinosaurs.
Yeah, I watched the little birds at our feeders, and I just think they're little dinosaurs.
The what? I didn't understand.
The little birds we have at our bird feeders at my house. I just see them. I see them as little dinosaurs.
Yeah, you can. I think that's funny.
How many buckets or containers would it of sugared water would it take to give a dinosaur a drink? You know, the bird feeders, they put sugar water out, don't they?
Well, I don't think to a dinosaur you precisely have to give anything. They just take what they want and need.
That is true.
Well, yes, but they probably rely. You know, I don't know where they get sugar water, their own things. I'm getting all that order again. Oh, right.
This is Savarna's.
This is Safari's new build.
Oh,
yeah, and. Yeah, as part of the celebrations, we've moved. One of the last ones of the season, in fact, this is where we moved to from the clubhouse on OS Grid to the new clubhouse on a grid called Safari. So it's got its own grid now. Very small grid with just 5 or 6 regions for various things.
But it is on a new grid.
Yeah. And this was obviously just the work as I'd already done on it when I went and took the film. But
and really, I think the grid is called Safari.
Yeah. Yeah, I believe so, rather than HG. Big archive here, almost what we're doing now. You can click for landmarks to visit places Safari's been, and you can also click on links to HG Safari, blogspot.com, for back issues, I call them, of the blog.
And they have really well organized, what do you call these trips that you can take without non-guided tours?
Oh, yeah.
That are really well organized.
Yeah, so this is stuff, for want of a better word, and it's been a bit scattered. Like, for example, we had an Inworld review studio and a sort of, I think we got one about 5 different grids, and Safari's clubhouse was all, there are versions of the clubhouse on a lot of grids, before moving here and stuff. But one thing she's been able to do here is put a lot of things she had on different grids now into one place. For example, there's a Safari region on the Avicon grid, which is largely, we've got a studio there, but it's also largely devoted to the guided tour things that you just mentioned, Tosha. For space reasons, there hasn't always been room to put everything everywhere, so to speak. But those gateway, those portals, and on themes as well, on arts and vehicles, and I don't know, everything. Oh, this is an outpost actually, which is out in the ocean. Here is part of the grid, so you can actually sail off in it and things. Well, if you can get in. But I couldn't see some of the lockdown areas, but I could actually see visually off the coast. So I was able to camera in to an area. Oh, that the shape of the fish, the island there. And the same with the Safari region. It's the shape of an elephant. Anything that I could see on the horizon, I was able to cam into, and then I realised that walk a little bit, and I'm falling down a hole of emptiness. Strange behaviour of regions when you can see a bit but not get there. Oh yeah, there you can see the elephant. You got the so you get a fairly good quick view of the whole region, the whole main region there. That's her shop. The archives are up there. And, there was a time, the leopard skin or whatever it is, texture that she has on the land and things. I always thought that was so weird, really quirky and odd thing to do, because you don't see land like that. But I've got so used to it now, it's like a familiar anchor, Oh, this is Safari. It's a Safari place rather than on Safari, if you see what I mean. So it's created an ID for itself, should we say.
No, but really, she did a great job on putting up this region. I must say.
And since we are talking about Safari, I gather the next one, the third one of the year, so to speak, starts I think it's in September and goes through October, November. And the starting point for that season will actually be on this Safari grid now. And they're some of the guided tour things, I believe. Yeah, so she's got a bit of everything here. All in one place. It's very satisfying, actually. I mean, we all love TPing around, don't we? But to have everything you need in one place is also kind of great. Okay, well, I'll move on from that because, there's only a minute or so to go, but there we go. That's not particularly interesting. This I seem to remember. It's labelled up for the date rather than.
Yeah, that's Sunshine Savarna's Africa, and that was the
Hmm.
Afro Jazz
Ah,
Cafe.
of course it was. Yeah, and we actually had several bits of this. Okay, this has got music too. This is only 2 minutes, so we might as well enjoy a bit of the mood. And somebody's taking to the stage there, I think. Yeah, great music here because I'm very fond of the blues and a lot of this tends to be African blues. But remember, the blues sort of came out of Africa anyway via the slavery uh, periods. But yeah, the music's wonderful. Even the non-blues music, it's great. I used to have an album full of Zulu music. Uh, in fact, it may even have been a tape. I'm not sure it ever made it to a CD or anything. Um, Zulu Drive, I think it was called, something like that. Anyway, it was just very interesting, different rhythms at the time, anyway, and so infectious. It's the sort of thing they say about Latin music sometimes. You hear salsa and things like that, and you just can't stop moving when you hear it.
Mm.
It was a bit like that. This bit's somewhat more mellow, as you can probably tell.
What I liked in this setup, especially too, was you could go any place and click any of the signs, and you get information, or you have music, or you could, you know, really go to some homepage, web page, and that was really very interesting. You get so much information and so much different sounds there anywhere you clicked. I think that was really very cool.
Okay, this is one of the more recent ones too. This you can probably tell before it even starts playing is Nick's Breen. A big file too, by the look of it. Oh no, it's only 8:17. Okay, this was on Pangea, and it was on a region called Ataraxis Orphic. No, sorry, it's on a region called Immersive 5. All Nix's regions seem to be called Immersive, and it's just one of his sort of spectaculars, basically. Every so often, Safari will actually go to a region that's sort of laid on a dance or an event for us. Or sometimes there have been safaris where the totality of which is some kind of performance, and this very much was a case of that. And the music here is very good too. The only unfortunate thing is he uses a radio station, a British one, in fact, I noticed, but it does have adverts. And actually, the reason I knew it was British is because the adverts were British, which rather spoils the vibe when you've got something as chilled out as this. But, no, I don't want the washing powder to wash me whiter than white, thank you. What's that got to do with this? But the moment you start playing it, it sort of makes me want to drift away into it. Okay, I'll be back in 10 minutes. I'll just chill out for a while. But better not get a bit more of it in. Later on was quite fascinating here because he's obviously adjusting colour and he had his own region, colours and things. And at one point, I really got a bit fed up with being told what settings to use, and I decided to start using my own. And I suddenly found I got these lovely sunset views, which weren't, they weren't visible quite the same way in his settings as they were in mine. So, what he's actually done with the region and the lights and everything is phenomenal in itself. But you can really use your own light settings and everything to really enhance it if you want to. And I really liked not only the music, but I love the mood of that horizon shot with the sun.
Oh, but I kind of liked his EEP settings too.
Oh yeah,
Really,
most
they were
yeah.
really sort of wild and beautiful. But you're right. This is pretty nice, also. You definitely see more details when you watch like this.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the EP is an acquired taste, especially when you're doing something as sort of dramatically performance orientated as he does. Different techniques for different events, really. You
Well,
know,
I think EEP serves very well,
yeah,
but I think also it should be used with somewhat of discretion. If it's all
yes.
just neon colors that, you know, give you cancer of the eyes.
Oh, that's what's wrong with my eyes. Too much sticks, and I thought it was hay fever.
It reminds me a lot. I've been frustrated sometimes. The performances of Art Blue that are at
Oh
OSCC and,
God,
and other
yeah,
places, and I love the performances. They're amazing, but as a participant, I often don't know where to look, and I
yeah,
feel like, oh, I'm missing something really important because I'm looking in the wrong place. And the big EEP environment, there's so much to see, and I just don't know.
yeah.
Am I
Mm,
seeing what the artist intended? And Nick said yes. Whatever you see is what I meant you to see. So there you
mm,
go.
It is. I mean, Nick's has this. Um, I don't know whether to call it a problem of dictating. He sets it up and then he tells you what tries to tell you. You're just enjoying it, just getting used to it, and then he comes on and says, "Do this and do that and do the other." And I think of like a stage director or a movie director. The director's job is finished when it's made. The director doesn't sit in the audience telling everybody who comes in to move their cameras or anything. It's a good piece of creativity should be able to stand alone without having the creator there telling you what to do. In my opinion. Oh, drifting away there. I don't know. I better go back to where we're meant to be. Oh, up here. Okay. So let's go back. Trying to make sure we're getting. Okay, June. This is the most recent one. Atlas Fashion. Some of the ones in June here are actually just ordinary posts. Oh, finale on Atraxia. Oh, yeah, actually, well, this is so there's a slideshow of this same thing. That was actually the very final. It was one of the stops, shall we say, on the final week. And look, you see, quick, get that up, Don't enjoy the party, fiddle with the sliders. I almost said knobs, but they're sliders. Oh God, my mouse is. I do this manually. You can't miss the instructions. I suppose it's no worse. Imagine you're going to a real world fairground and you're going on one of the big, skydives, and they spend about 20 minutes making sure your strap's on right and everything else like that. So I suppose there are some things where you need a little bit of learning before you start. But yeah. Okay, let's see what else we've got here. Okay. I have said that maybe, and it might even be next week, I would put up especially this wasn't a safari. It was Torben Asp who passed away a few 2 years ago, roughly, and there was a tribute to him using his very last performance or bits of it on the Pangea grid. Just recap the beginning bits of this.
Did you guys know Torben?
I wouldn't say I knew him. I certainly did have him on the show once or possibly twice.
Hmm.
Been to, but actually from a long while ago, I suspect I knew him more in the other place than out here on the New
Hmm.
Frontier.
Hmm.
But
He was quite regularly, quite often also in Craft, and he had a base there. He had a sim there, and he was such a sweet and wonderful person. I mean, just as a person too, you know, he would always, you ask him a favor, you ask about anything, and he just tried to help any way possible. And you ask him for information, and he'd always comply. And what I think he did very well in the beginning, not so much, but in towards the end, he coordinated his particle show so well with the music. It was fascinating.
yeah.
Really was. I I made some time ago, some years ago, make sort of a game that went across all kinds of different grids and different sims, and you know, you had to find out things on each of the different sims, and only when you found it out, you got the hint where to go next, you know,
Yeah.
like that. And one of the places I went to was also Torben's sim, and I asked him, and you know, he just opened his sim completely. He said, "You, I know you don't do stupidities. Build anywhere you want, you know." So
Uh,
he just, I was so surprised by that, you know, and I really thought I just really liked him very much.
I have a feeling that when I was doing a show with him or beforehand, he took me to a region, you know, chatting with me personally, as it were, before the show and stuff. There was something I really. Oh, I know. I think yeah, one of the first regions I actually saw where the grass on the ground was actually moving in the breeze.
Hmm.
You know, it just made it's like lip movement. It made so much difference to you know a load of grass and stuff. I think that was one of Torben's regions.
And and
This
also what I thought that when
this
he got ill, and he was ill really long time,
yeah,
he just shared it so openly with all the people around him, you know. He used to publish on Facebook and things like that, and talk openly about his illness. He suffered of cancer, and he was so courageous and such a fighter. And I think he encouraged a lot of people that are ill with his attitude towards his illness. You know, I thought that was really something else.
that was on the ground. There's a sort of fixed memorial place, but when you click to the memorial show, it takes you up in the air to this rather nifty construct. And Leo Lobo was with me. I can't remember if there were quite a few people in the end. Um, I think Tessa was probably there. She must be. Um, but basically, yes, it took us up into the air, and that's just a brief look at what was there. Now I'm hoping to post. I'll probably have to check permission with Pangea or something, but basically, the actual film of the concert itself is 1 hour and 2 minutes. So I'm just gonna head in there and just stop at random to give you a rough idea. Very wonderful keyboard music. I mean, it's it disrupts the sound a bit as I fast forward to bits, but then it's funny when you're listening to a concert like this, you don't really notice the change in numbers. It just the whole thing is organically changing. So if I fast forward, I think, oh, hang on, this is all one number. It's morphed into a different style at different points, but it's done so well you don't really realize it. You just oh yes, as it was there.
Very much like Jean-Michel Jarre, I would think.
Very much, yes. In fact, of course, I know you're a big fan of Jean-Michel. Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's yeah, he's almost the same. It's you always know it's him kind of thing. Usually anyway. Right. There's enough of a trademark sound, even though he moves through different moods and styles.
Yeah, and the special thing about him also was that, of course, he covered some titles, but he also wrote a lot of music himself.
Yeah.
So he played his own a lot of times, and you I could really appreciate that. That was very beautiful, very cool, I thought.
Yeah, I'm very impatient with a lot of music, especially in the other place where people are miming or they're not particularly good. It's okay if it's like the troubadour or the busker, so some very sweet people in the other place particularly, they sit there with their guitar or piano or something and do their thing, and it's real, like they're in the room with you. But how many times can I listen to the virtual Pink Floyd miming to the Pulse album? It may last 2 hours and it may have lots of particle shows and everything in it, but at the end of the day, that's an album I've listened to 1,000 times without getting near it. I would much rather. There's a guy called Junivers, somebody. I think he's based in Holland. Is in the other place a lot too. Who's in this ilk. He actually did a performance of Pink Floyd's The Wall, for example. But it was all him. He wasn't miming to the Pink Floyd. It was him playing the guitar and doing various things. There was his band, and the fact is, I was listening to something live and real music. It was a plus point for me. And even there's a band called the Virtual Live Band who are in the other place. And their bass player, his name escapes me. The bass player lives here in London, actually, so I met him. But their singers over in California, and then I think one of them's in Japan, and basically the individual musicians are actually all over the world, but they still manage to play together and sing live on stage in the virtual world. It's very difficult to do. I mean, they actually rely on knowing what the other person is doing in advance a bit. But they sound very 60s, which is right, like a 60s improvising band. So each musician tends to get extended bits that the other members are sort of adapting to. So it's carefully thought out how it's going to work with all the lag and the differences in bandwidth and stuff, and it works quite well. I've never actually heard a really bad disaster from them, and it would be so easy, regardless of the musicianship. They could really get the dream.
I saw a show once. I have a friend that is a musician, and he's a gypsy. Actually a Dutch, but born in Spain, raised in Holland, and now he lives in Germany. He's a really very interesting person, and he organized together with somebody else. That Italian song Bella Ciao, I suppose, right?
No. Well, maybe it's something I know, but I don't recognize the name. Bella.
Well, don't ask me to sing, because you will never ask anything of me again.
Bella Ciao, did you say? Or?
Bella Ciao, yes.
No, I don't. It doesn't ring any bells.
And well, I will send you a copy of it because you find it everywhere in the internet. But he arranged that together with some friends, obviously, international. There were musicians from everywhere in the world and all different languages, and sang Bella Ciao. Always in their own language. It was really so amazing. Always taking turns, of course, not all together.
Yeah,
And it was so amazing. It was just really the coolest thing. So it's got to be a lot of work to get something like that arranged, to get it coordinated, I
yeah.
suppose.
I've seen some movies and benefit things like Real World sessions like that, that have always had a lot of, well, not necessarily stars on them. I think Brian Eno may have done a few where, it was a tour of the world of world music. And, but, you could see that it had been filmed in different places, put together and then edited. And the edit made it sound good and really enjoyable. But it didn't feel live, even though the performances were live, because you knew that they'd gone over time blending it all together. It's not like different artists from different parts of the world were somehow joining each other on stage, but it's still a nice idea. And of course, in virtual worlds, there's nothing to stop you having people from every part of the world together at the same time. There are streaming issues, of course, synchronizing instruments and whatever, but it's one of the other wonderful possibilities about what we got here, as opposed to Jean-Michel Jarre's attempts to do it on Vroom and various other sites we've covered in the past, haven't we, James?
Sensar, VR Chat, yep.
Yeah, he's jumped in all over the place, but of course he's chosen the big new companies that want his name,
and the performances are good.
Hey, can you listen a moment and I'll play you Bella Ciao?
Sure.
Oh. Sounds familiar?
We're getting bits and pieces of it.
It is. I'm beginning to make it out now, but it's not familiar enough. Oh, that's better.
Okay, I just stopped it. It is. I just took it from the monitor, by my microphone. It is the song of the Italian partisans. The ones fighting against the Germans.
Right. Okay.
And
it's probably. I mean, I can see why it would have such cultural significance. I suppose I just don't really know.
Yes, but it's it's been used in many places, and their versions practically international. I practically don't see a language of the known languages, to me known languages, that doesn't have its a translation of it. So I thought it was fantastic, when he did that. But I don't know why I'm telling you that. I forgot the reason for it.
Okay, that was another bit of the African one there. We're playing a lot of too much in the background. This probably better be the last one. We're running out of time, but this is 12th of June. This is Wolf Safari. So we went to Lone Wolf's grid. We've been there a few times and had him on the show several times, actually. I even found him sitting in the audience a couple of times. So nice one. But no, this was a kind of revisit. And there's about 5 minutes of this going on here. You must give me the name and of that music. I can probably find it and sort of find it. I'm not, it takes a lot for me to actually recognize names of foreign.
Oh, you're talking to me now.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Okay. That's not a problem at all.
yeah.
I can give you
But
the
I think
link
of
to it.
people like Edith Piaf, and I always recognize, the Vion Rose and things like that. But it's, I'm not that good with
Yeah,
recognizing names from, other
yeah. I'll get it to you after we finish the show
Oh
here,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
because
I
it's
built.
not.
I have a little library of stuff I can play over there if I
Yeah,
need to. Yeah.
and I really also like the text very much. It's very emotional, very
Yeah.
very heroic. So sometimes I like these stuff. Normally I'm more of the sober type, but sometimes it gets
Well,
to me.
there's in Britain during the war when we were fighting, you know, the same chap, Germans. There's a woman called the Forces Sweetheart, and she's a oh, God, I never remember even English names. Vera Lynn, that's it, Dame Vera Lynn, as she became. And actually, I met her not 10, 15 years ago somewhere just by accident, and and my father was with us, and oh God, I tried to say, look who it is, because he was of that ilk, and he was obviously scared shitless. He wasn't going to go and say hello, but I did briefly. But her name and the song "We'll Meet Again" is synonymous with that era and the fighting of the thing. So I imagine this one you're talking about must be kind of a bit of an Italian equivalent.
Oh yes, once in a while I find things in the internet. For example, in an Italian tram somewhere in Rome or I don't know, some big city, and there are some fascists in there, or neo-Nazis or whatever you might want to call them. They're in doing something stupid, and then one after the other of the people, the normal people, getting up and start singing Bella Ciao. And it's just that just moves,
Yeah.
That just moves. And the Italians are a lot like that, They have a lot of, even though they voted fascist at last, but they still have a lot of the, this fighting kind of thing,
Spirit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wolfsland is a beautiful grid also, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, his grid is just so huge now. Although I do wonder, like the way he manages to do everything so quickly, that technology he uses. I mean, there seems to be an awful lot of land where there doesn't need to be. But on the other hand, there are these bits he's sort of worked on, and
It's true.
he's
It
also
has moved.
attracted a lot of other people in. I don't know whether he's giving them special deals these days. And
It has grown tremendously in the last year.
The Virtual Worlds Education Consortium, who had a little cottage on Cookie 2, I think of Melville's place on Kitely. Now they've suddenly got a big area here on Wolfgrid. In fact, I filmed that too, but that was just me going there to film, and that's where they had their safari with the horses and the paths and everything else like that. So obviously it's making it very easy for settlers, as it were, to move in. And he's got these techniques, for fast rolling out of regions and rolling back. And I noticed a lot. He picks up a lot of like he's got a stage in there somewhere, which is almost an identical copy of this stage here. Where he's got a screen of his desktop behind him, and I think it's where he holds a Wolfgrid town halls or something. But he is literally copied, the techniques we use. So he's very quick on picking up stuff from here, there, and everywhere, not just here. But you know. But yeah, at least it's not stuff he's taking and promoting for himself. It is actually inviting collaborators in. Oh, it's paused now. That last bit was I won't play anymore, but that last bit was an example of the sky. Actually, if I just move it back a bit while it's filming, you get just to look at that sky with the extra planets in it. Actually, it doesn't. Oh, the play button's not on. That's what's wrong. There, you got that. These little comets going up and then particles and everything. It says that's a great sky. Well, I'm looking at the time. I haven't heard the wolf getting hungry yet, but
Nope.
I've got a feeling he might be.
The wolf's
It's
only
funny,
for
but
guests. When guests are here, that's why the wolf comes
yeah,
in.
it's funny, you know, that just the three of us doing this because it was planned, and you know, so it's in. But there's so much material here, you know, even the three of us on our own can just get through. Both of you, like me, are always. It's one of those. It's like a date every week to be on safari when we can make it. So, I mean, have you, either of you, well, both of you, maybe James first, and then Tosha, got any real memories of the last season that you thought were absolutely great? James?
Um, Boy, it's hard to come up with anything particular. I just I'm so thrilled by the passion and the enthusiasm of all the builders, and so even a build that seems maybe not the best design just shows such an expression of intention and desire. And I think that's probably one of the favorite things I love about Open Simulator. I've heard a lot of people say, you know, Open Simulator is a platform of creators, and Second Life has kind of become a platform of consumers. And so
I say
it's
that a bit.
yeah. So it's all the visits of the safari are I find enjoyable.
Yeah, I'm just with you there, James, because I think too that there's nothing like these many creations on OpenSim, and I'm every time surprised again, you know, of how neat and how wonderful the buildings are. Okay, some of them are older, maybe some of them are not so brilliant, but most of them are really brilliant, you know, and I'm really fascinated by that, you know, and all these different ideas, you know, that alone seems to be impossible to top that, you know, and then it's been topped again, you
Indeed.
know, so I really
And
think that's
I still find a lot of great things in Second Life. I don't mean to disparage Second Life, but the bulk of users in Second Life I think are there enjoying it. You know, as people who are enjoying the builds a little more than maybe happens in Open Simulator.
well. Well, I must say, I go there sometimes. The other day you caught me there
I go a
almost.
lot. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Oh, of
Um,
course. Of course. I
and
like that.
I really go a few times. Sometimes because I have some people that I know there, and then I think I'm sitting around here, and I think go to see if somebody is around that I know, you know,
Mm-hmm.
like that. Or I look around a little bit too because they sometimes in some areas that I know they have new things and stuff like that. But what I think really is the one thing that has been said a lot about OpenSim. It's so empty. There are no people. You
Yeah.
know that is being discussed so often. And
Mm-hmm.
I must say, whenever I go to Second Life, I never find anybody.
Oh,
I mean, really, except the ones that I know, and I ask them to be there, and I ask to go there where they are or to come where I am. But that's then one by one, like that, you know. But really, things. Okay, you can go to some dances, but that you can do in Open Sim too, and you find a lot of people. But normally, if you just hop from sim to sim, you, I don't I don't almost never find anybody. So
Mm.
I've
Yes,
I've
you can find quiet areas in Second Life too to get on, you know, a horse ride and go and enjoy sort of stuff. It's not all consumer, but it's very
you see those huge shopping areas
Yeah,
everywhere you go,
Yeah.
and there is nobody except the ones that are really in, like you go
yeah,
looking for the newest hairstyle. Oof, of course, you have there all kinds of people looking for and buying new hairstyle or skins or things like that. But if you just go like normal, like what I do, I just hop, look. I don't know. I don't even know how I come up with the names of the Sims where I go to. It's just sort of ransom, and I go and nobody there.
Mm-hmm.
I actually got a shot this morning. Well, a few years before the show. I looked on Inworld and I saw a region called Victoria's Avatars, which
Okay.
I'd seen quite a lot as one of the more popular ones, but I suddenly noticed there are 9 avatars on it, and I thought, oh, I might as well go and see what it's about now. There's people there, and
Mm,
it was just a weird sort of region that we're a mall in the middle. I'm sure
mm,
enough, there are 9 people there buying avatars, and you know, when you see 9 people in a shop with you, you think the shop's crowded. Oh, it's got to be, but I mean, even so, it reminded me of, I thought, am I in that other place? 9
yeah,
people in the shop at the same time, other than the
yeah.
safari, that is. Um, yeah, so that took me by surprise because I
Well,
sometimes like empty areas because they're less laggy. You can do things, you can get things
yeah.
done. I mean, it's special to have safari and things too
Mm.
for lots of people, but very often, it's sort of
Well, the last time I went to Second Life, really to look to look items, that was before Christmas last year. Because I just needed some ideas. I wanted to participate in the Christmas market of um, of craft, and I had no idea what the hell. I don't celebrate Christmas myself at all, and I have nothing to do with all that kind of stuff. And now all of a sudden I was being asked to do something there. So I said, well, in Second Life they have a hell of a lot of Christmas markets, and they did. And just I did not want to look or copy anything, but I just wanted to see and get some ideas because I don't have much imagination myself. So I went there, and really there were hundreds of Christmas markets, and they were all empty. Everything, every little thing, like every snowflake, you had to pay for it, but there were no avatars anywhere. So I just looked around a little bit, and then I came frustrated back to OpenSim.
I think that's another symptom of the consumer thing not being a creative thing so much. It's changed over time, but the weird thing is by September, right, when I guess Safari starts again, I'll be reading blogs from Second Life, possibly even Focusing too, but mostly Second Life, um, trying to get you to visit their Halloween build. Now,
Yeah,
Halloween is until the end of October, but it's become like a de facto thing that from September onwards, the theme of Second Life is going to be people's Halloween builds.
yeah,
It's overkill. I mean, why would I want to? I log in, I see one person,
yeah,
as I go and see another person, so they've used the same buildings, the same props.
yeah. Well,
Um, it's very much, it's like when you visit, so, it's decoration. People buy to
yeah,
decorate rather than
yeah,
create. I mean, you know how you go to visit somebody's house and their sitting room, a certain kind of person has the same semi-fashionable furniture as the person
mm,
next door.
mm,
Then you come across somebody who is a creator, who's got an arrangement or indeed a paint job or something that is totally unique. It's theirs. And that's the difference. You can see one where the creator's spirit has created the environment. You see the other, and it's simply like somebody's decorated with the furniture for some, bulk furniture retail
yeah, yeah,
emporium.
yeah.
It's not the same at all. You just don't want to see the same thing in
I
every.
really, I really appreciated Second Life when um, when I was when Lumiere Noir lived
Yeah.
still. And because we did go on what is it called? Noche Vieja, for the end of the year. What do you call that celebration?
Oh, New
New
Year's.
Year's Eve.
Yeah.
Oh, New Year's.
New
Oh, yeah.
Year's Eve.
Yes.
We
Yeah.
we'd go. We had the habit of going in Second Life, even though we were already long time in open sim, both of us. But we'd go New Year's Eve to Second Life, and then we'd go to the different places. Starting. I don't know which country or which place is the first one to celebrate by calendar the New Year's Eve. I don't know. And then we would go
Australia's
whenever.
early, but
Yeah, Australia's the first, no? And then whenever it was finished there, we'd go to the second and the next and the next and the next. So
That's
we
cool.
would celebrate New Year's Eve about 15 times in one night.
That's
And that
great.
was really cool,
Fun.
That was really cool.
It's like the old pub crawl here. By the way, you mentioned it, so I thought it'd be nice to a little bit of film here. It wasn't a safari. It might have been. It's anyway. It's you and the Lumiere region on there. You're dancing,
That is
and a little bit of me in the back. I don't know who exactly who's
Lumiere Noir
yeah. It's a bit of
let's say in real a little bit, and the other one was his favorite avatar, that mouse.
From
No,
Mad Ma-
spy. Wasn't it Spy
Spy
Against Spy?
It's Spy versus Spy in Man magazine.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Yeah. So of course this is very much your region now, isn't it? In terms of a memorial.
Yes, it is. It is.
So it's been a while
It
since
is. It's like I said. Lumiere started building it. I was building all the little round huts, and Lumiere's job was the big towers.
So beautiful.
And then when he passed, it was not at all finished. And the only thing I had left was all the lessons, all those things, and the ground, the boardwalks around, and one tower, and the rest I did all myself then, little by little. And when I had it all finished, I did it on Sanctuary. I don't know if you remember that grid.
Got it all over here.
The one with all the
gates, the Hypergrid.
with all the gates, genau. And then the guy of Sanctuary from one day to the other, he just disappeared.
Yeah, I wondered about that.
Yeah. And I tried
on a show once or somewhere, but then
with him, all of my builds, of course, everything, all my contents. And I tried to get into contact with him a lot of times, and there was no way to get into contact with him, and so I lost it all, and so I had to start it all over again in craft. And the only thing there I had really was the boardwalk, the one tower that I preserved and that I had turned into mesh, and then the lessons I had all in my inventory, but everything else was gone.
It seems funny turning one of his things into mesh when a lot of the magic of what he did was how he showed he used prims and he worked so fast and had these techniques.
Yes.
And, mesh had nothing to do with it in those days. It was.
Yes, well, we did a lot of. I started with him with mesh. He did a lot of mesh in the end also, but I preserved that in mesh because I had a discussion with somebody that said it was not possible to turn prims into mesh, and I said, why should it not be? And then I took something really complicated, the Tower of Lumiere, and I turned it into mesh, and it worked. And that since then I have it. I can make it very small and very big and all. and I never bothered building it up again in prims, even though it could be done. Yeah, I learned that technique of his the way he made the the towers and all these things.
Yeah, duplicating things and very quickly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fascinating to watch, and I think some of
Yeah.
the books were him doing it filmed, so it was great to watch.
Yeah. And he could do in open sim, but also in Second Life with torturing a prim so badly that he could crash a whole sim with that. And he'd say sometimes.
He blames
And when some people came and talked stupid, he said, "Shall I crash the sim?" And I said, "Do it."
Yeah.
And that was it. It was really funny.
Blame Microsoft. Yeah. Isn't it funny when we blame sim crashing and lags and so blame that Windows computer, and this week has just shown how impossible that software is. But right, this is all your regions too. I'm showing here, of course, in case just people at home wondering what Survivor this was. It's actually a natural.
I don't know when it was.
This is actually from back in 1923, so 2023 actually.
Yeah, 1923. I was just gonna say.
Yep.
Yeah, so
really.
It's a couple of years since I filmed this, and gosh golly, it looked like politicians, don't politicians at work. Yeah. Right. Well, we better start wrapping up, actually. So, I was asking if you had any favourites that you remember from during the course of the season. But
any favorites? My favorite really was that Land of Magic. That was with that guy that had all these magic.
The magician one, yeah.
Scripts, the things, and I think I grabbed every script inside that, and I felt like.
That's the other thing. I remember when because I remember he was exceedingly generous with everything there as well.
Yes.
It's just the reason.
And I just really like that, And I tried them all. Some work well and some not so well, but they're all fantastic in their own way.
Just trying to find those. If there's one thing you're looking here, says this blog as ever. Cersei has a nifty way of titling her blog posts. So looking back, there we are, Safari Magic. There had to be a giveaway there somewhere.
That's probably that.
Yeah. Oh, and it was this.
Yeah, it's that one.
We looked at it. Yeah,
that's that one.
Yeah. So
I really loved this huge big library, and everywhere between the books you had packages of giveaways of scripts of magic things, and I was just delighted. And I love libraries, and this one I love especially.
Each of these, not so much individual books, but each of these things I'm pointing out, I think.
Yeah, exactly. They're all.
There are more things to take, more information and stuff. So, and then over here there was like just shelves that didn't have books; they had objects for you to take. And no, it's great. Yeah, there's something about bookcases and libraries that makes you. It's very comforting, I think. It's sitting in the archive as it's been something I've been doing all week. Is I've got loads of bande dessinées and comic strip stuff, and I've been organizing them like a library because I can never find anything, so I put them on an external cloud server, and then I can read them on the iPad, and slowly but surely I'm discovering the things I lost, so Yeah, but no, I love this. Is well, James would tell you he's seen where I live. There are shelves everywhere, aren't there, James?
Oh yeah, so much. It's wonderful. Yep.
Well, you call it wonderful. I call it chaos.
Oh no, it's great.
Yeah, yeah. So I live in a library, put it that way,
Yep.
and the majority of it's now digital, but you wouldn't know. Right. Um, well, I think we can close really. We are going to be taking, unless something urgent happens, and maybe somebody like Pet Love stands in. I don't imagine the case, but basically, we're taking a week off next week, and then we'll be back with a regular show the week after. We'll be back on topic with our guests talking. Well, we'll be talking about music promotion and performance in Second Life, and it's quite interesting. It came up in the conversation earlier. One thing she does in particular is she does promotions. She's a music promoter, as it were, in the other place, the
Mm-hmm.
Second Life. And one thing that she does make a point of, she was telling me, is that she likes to be able to bring the performers she knows in Second Life into Open Sim to do gigs. I
Mm-hmm.
was fascinated with this because I mean we'll have to talk and find out, but I imagine she's bringing them to venues she knows and inviting people from Second Life in.
And
Because I haven't really come across that very much. Obviously, some performers I do know, like
and
Torben
and
Ask was in both, but
and who is she?
oh, good point. God, you always get me. Hang on. Where's my diary thing? Lynn. I was about to say Lynn. It's not Lynn, is it? It's Rogue Galaxy. That's it. You see me cheating there. Just find the desktop with my notepads on it. Rogue Galaxy, she's called.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she's been a music promoter in the other place for time immemorial, it seems. But she specifically, she obviously makes the link. In terms of well, you've got good
Oh,
artists,
cool.
bring them
Yeah.
here too, and possibly she's bringing. There's a lot of musicians, for example, in Second Life that have like tribal kind of followings who go to every gig.
Mm-hmm.
If one of those musicians, and they're not really in it for the money, maybe they'll tip jar or something, or pay me by PayPal or something. But if a musician can come and play, for example, in open sim somewhere on the Hypergrid, then maybe their tribe of fans will follow them, to be on that grid, and they'll
Mm-hmm.
obviously have to register or have a Hypergrid avatar somehow. So maybe the cross pollination of things like artists. Well, we already have it with artists.
Mm-hmm.
See the same people on LEA and Linden Labs as out here on the Hypergrid. But if we start getting out more with music and the sort of because partying is probably just as popular as shopping in Second Life.
Okay.
I'd rather not have the shops here, but but it'd be nice if more musicians were here because I'd be
Mm.
close about musicians appearing on the Hypergrid, especially in Open Sim World. But you only get the posts from the people that are on Open Sim World and get around to posting, and
Mm-hmm.
more often than not, and in Facebook too. Every day there'll be Benny's Blues Bar on such and such
Okay.
will have somebody performing. And if I scroll down Facebook for a few hours, I can probably see the poster advertising that. But the problem there is that unless you go to Benny's Blues Bar all the while, you're never really going to come across these performers, if you see what I mean. But
Okay.
if they were moving around on the Hypergrid and somebody, was booking them in to different places, then they'd be, they hopefully they get better known, and for the same, and their audience would come along too. I don't know, but it's well worth discussing, I think, because artists, have very success. I think from the very beginning of OpenSim, with CraftGrid and Inworlds was the other one, wasn't it? You got a lot of art people from Second Life moving over here, where they had the freedom to do what they want, and it was cheap and space and everything else. And I think musicians depend very much on venues and an audience.
Of
And
course.
but then again, artists do
Mhm.
too. So why it can't be, the case that some of them, there were performers in Second Life who perform in Science Space, for example.
Really, every artist depends on
Yeah,
audience, because they perform for audience,
yeah. But until they've got here, I mean, once somebody's got an avatar here, quite frankly, it's as easy to log in here as it is to log into Second Life. You just get an avatar and
Mm.
a grid. That's all it actually takes. But people in Second Life say, "Oh, it's a hassle." I've got to log out of Second Life. Well, don't you do that at night anyway? Oh, but then I've got to log into a different blah blah blah, and people just make the excuses too much work. But if there were much more unique things,
Yeah.
happening here, maybe more people would come. And you yourself mentioned, we should focus more on not the superstars, but just people,
Yeah,
real
yeah, I
people.
think so. I think not only, but I think so. I think we should put more emphasis on the normal people, like normal. I don't mean that they're stupid or not
No,
worthwhile, but I think quite on the contrary.
yeah,
The people that just use like um open sim to have a good time, to live on, to have a different experience. I know different people that do that. That live there, that have
I don't
whatever.
think. I mean, I tend to do voice, and I'm not very good at doing text and stuff these days. But I don't actually ever think I've come across a really boring person on OpenSim.
No, 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 no.
Whereas,
Don't think
oh,
so.
in Second Life, it is very easy to get bored to tears by somebody blabbing at you or gabbing away. So what I don't really know there is such a word as normal person, but it's
Oh,
very
with normal, I
unusual.
don't mean boring. I just
Yeah,
mean not an outstanding,
yeah,
artist and somebody that has made great things or that owns a whole grid and manages it
yeah.
just wonderfully. I mean, just the people that come, that have a sim, that have their little build, that chat around with some people, that try to learn new things about building, or just take things from everywhere and make their own terraforming and make for them a beautiful little island,
Yeah,
where they can just sit around and listen to music or chat with friends. And I think those people are very, very important.
sure. No, I used to
So,
do it years ago. That's the first thing I did in virtual worlds was just want to
so
hang.
talking about that, have you talked with Dings?
Oh yeah. Oh, good point. Yeah, it's he will be. We're talking about things. We're still on there, but we're talking about things digital. And I asked him to come back to me with a Sunday days after for the end of August, and then I stick it in.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay,
I said any days after the 11th because I've got nothing
okay,
after.
okay. And
Yes.
also, I said to you last time that I would, but maybe we should just finish the show and then talk about
Oh
things.
yeah, yeah. Very good, very good. Yes,
Okay.
indeed. We will have a private show, ladies and gentlemen. See, the whistle's gone off. I think we starved the dog to death, to be honest. He's run away. He's given up being fed tonight. So there you go. Yeah, I think we better close things a little bit. Indeed, it's probably a good idea. Well, it doesn't matter what's on screen when we close. Right. Okay. Well, folks. Abrupt end, but we need to. We've been on for. I think we've been on for near 2 hours actually. So
2 hours, 4 minutes, and 40 seconds.
oh
Oh my
god,
God.
thank goodness Sirs is not there. Should have had a
Yeah, but because we really started on time this time.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we're also very good. We're very prone to talking and going off on interesting things too. So it's no problem that we didn't have an extra guest even. Okay, so it's goodbye from me and goodbye from them and goodbye from us, so to speak. My name is Mal Burns and I'm signing out. I'd like to thank my co-host Tosha Tyran.
My pleasure.
And my right-hand person in with James Atlloud, sorry.
That guy over there. Sure. No, thanks, Mal. This was fun.
In with the knobs.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and as always, thanks for bringing us together, Mal.
Very good.
Right.
Yeah, very good. We will see in 2 weeks. If anything comes up and it's important, we may be back next week. But it's nice to take a week off. And James, in particular, here, you are off somewhere traveling.
I'm off traveling somewhere in the great beyond.
Yeah,
right.
In the great beyond. Which grid is that?
It's not published.
Oh, it's I see. It's a hidden.
You're doing well, James.
A hidden gem. That's right.
Okay. Yeah. So we will be back anyway. So have a good time, everybody. And log into the Hypergrid. Start jumping around. Follow the green dots. You can't do that easily because there's so many different grids. But try OpenSimWorld, for example. Easy to find a link there. You just copy and paste it to your clipboard, put it in the map, and go. And you can tell if people are there or not as you go through the list. And just come to the Hypergrid and have fun. Or indeed, given the time of year it is up here in the Northern Hemisphere, you can go out and either freeze or roast. But you can't do both in the same place at once, can you? But we'll see anyway. So have a good week or 2 weeks, as the case may be. I'm going to wish you all a very good morning, a very good afternoon, a very good evening, a very good morning, and a very good tomorrow, depending on wherever and whenever you are. And I almost messed that up. We're out of here.